A memory palace is a memory technique that uses familiar locations to store and retrieve information in your mind. Familiar locations could be your current house or apartment, the house you grew up in, your workplace, church, shopping mall, and so on. You can also use walks or routes that you take on a daily basis. A good example is the route you take to go to work. So that's the first part of the definition, using familiar locations. To store information in your mind, you need to create associations between the familiar locations and the stuff you want to remember. In this video, we learn how the memory palace technique works and the process of building one of your own. And the very first thing to consider is creating a sequential order of your locations. Your memory palace should have a starting point and should flow from one point to the next smoothly. For example, let's use a living room as our location. Inside, from left to right, there's a sofa, and above it, there's some artwork. Straight ahead, we have a fireplace, and just above it, we find a family photo. On the right side of the living room, you can see a window. Beside it, we have a TV, and below it, a TV stand. So we've used the living room as a familiar location. Next, we picked 7 almost permanent things inside this living room. And this is important. When setting up your own memory palace, use objects or furniture that don't shift their positions all the time. Things that are always there. Don't use books, cups, clothes, and the like, as these are easy to move. So these 7 locations will act as our pegs, where we'll hang the information we want, which I'll show you later on in the video. As you can see, I've created a sequence for this living room. I started from the left side of the room, going towards the right. Notice how I went through the room in sequential order. I labeled each location, with the sofa being the first and the TV stand being the 7th. You can do this yourself. Visualize your living room or any room you want. Start from the left side of the room and label each piece of memorable furniture, walking towards the right side of your room. Your brain already knows your home by heart, so it's not a difficult mental task. If you've recently moved to a new house, you can simply imagine the old one and do the same process. Once you've mentally walked through your chosen location, it's time to store some information. Here, you'll need your creative imagination and a slight sense of humor to create associations between each location and the thing you want to remember. We'll use an example of a grilled chicken marinade, which I discovered from WikiHow. There are 7 ingredients needed to prepare this marinade, which are olive oil, salt, black pepper, paprika, cumin, whipped cream, and cayenne pepper. We'll use the 7 locations inside the living room as pegs to store or hang these 7 ingredients in our minds. Our job is to mentally walk inside this living room and pick each ingredient from each location. Let's see how this works. Starting from the left, the first location is the sofa, and the first ingredient of the chicken marinade is olive oil. We have to create an association between a sofa and olive oil. How do we do that? We use our imagination. Imagine sitting on a sofa completely drenched in olive oil. The olive oil is pouring out in torrents, soaking your sofa and your clothes. Next on the list is salt. We link it to the artwork that's hanging above. Imagine salt painting that artwork. Or visualize yourself pouring salt on that artwork to make it look tasty. The third ingredient to remember is black pepper. And the third location is the fireplace. Picture yourself using billions of black pepper seeds as firewood instead of logs. To link paprika and the family photo, imagine everyone in your family inside this photograph. Then imagine everyone applying paprika on their faces as makeup to spice up the photo. The fifth location is a window, and up next is cumin seeds. Picture millions of cumin seeds breaking through the window, shattering it into small pieces. And those same cumin seeds, with their lightning speed, hit your face like mini bullets. Painful, right? Next we have whipped cream and TV. This one's easy. Imagine whipped cream sitting on your sofa, watching an ad about whipped cream. I know it's weird, but hey, it works. It's memorable. And finally, we have the TV stand and cayenne pepper. Imagine the TV stand eating the cayenne pepper and feeling so hot that it instantly bursts into flames. It burns to the ground. So we are done with the imaginations. It looks like a lot of work, but it really isn't. The imaginations usually happen in seconds, and you can memorize the 7 ingredients in less than 3 minutes. But the beauty is that everything becomes more vivid. You find it hard to forget those 7 ingredients. If you look at your sofa, you remember getting soaked because olive oil was pouring out. To remember cayenne pepper, you remember a TV stand eating some and bursting into flames. You only need to remember the location, and the associated ingredient jumps into your mind. So make your imaginations full of emotion and action. Imagine feeling silly and embarrassed when pouring salt on the artwork. That's emotional. For action, we imagined millions of cumin seeds breaking through your window and hitting you on your face. That makes it more memorable in your mind. So to sum up this video, the memory palace technique uses familiar locations as pegs to store the stuff you want to remember. You mentally walk through these locations, picking up the things you want to remember in a sequential manner. That's what we did with the 7 ingredients needed to prepare a grilled chicken marinade. Ensure to make your imaginations crazy, emotional, and full of action. That way, they become extremely vivid in your mind. And that's how the memory palace technique works. I'm Nick Mema from impressivememory.com, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and share this video around. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, stay safe.